Hey guys, it's your girl Lily. So you probably heard the situation about the officer that took down the teenager in the high school and seen clips of it everywhere. Now, from what I've heard from the story is this. So you had a teacher who was trying to teach a class, and of course you got that occasional disruptive student. I guess she pulled out a cell phone. Teacher, of course, asked to leave, asked to leave, asked to leave. We've seen videos before with the teacher trying to handle it like the officer, and it surfaced. So, of course, the teacher, this part, asked to leave, called, security or the assistant principal so they could see they could do something about it. Nothing is done. So the next step, if the school can't do anything about it, we have to go outside the school and get the law enforcement. That's when you see the officer. In the clip, you see the officer approaching the student, and you hear it seems like he's counting to 3, and the student's just sitting there. So next thing you know, you just see the police officer forcibly take the student out of the chair. Now, with him doing that, and from what I'm hearing, her resisting arrest, which there's also a clip that was saved from another student that's taken from a different angle that we aren't seeing. We're just seeing the first video with him taking him down, resulting in her with a broken arm, a sprained neck, and things like that. And now the officer is on, suspended without pay. So here's what I saw. I saw the officer counting 3. She's just sitting there like, yeah, all right. After a while, we just see the officer forcibly take her out. When he took her out, he took her out. It's like he watched wrestling and wanted to practice a move, and he took her out the damn chair. Bit much, but, after a while, we get tired of saying the same things over and over and over again. I'm not saying that what the officer did was right. There are different ways to do so. But put it this way. When you tell your child to do something, and you have to say it over and over again, you're going to get frustrated, aren't you? So people are going to sit there all over the comments and sit there and say what they would have done. But it's kind of hard to do that if the situation is already done. Now, teenagers are going to be teenagers. They're going to be defiant, rebellious, and try to do things to piss the parents or whoever is in authority off. I even see, people that, kids that are 6, 7, 8 acting as if they know all of life itself when their voice shouldn't drop. I'm not saying the officer's move is justifiable. And I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you poor girl. Because, sweetheart, you let it escalate to this point by being fucking stubborn. Come on. You just leave class. Damn. We got to put a show on for. Now you got a bruise and a cast to remember of you being a smartass. Now, of course, it's going to spark an outrage because the officer is white and the student is black. But we have to put it at this point. If it was our child, and we know we got a smart-ass child, we tell our kids what? One day you're going to meet your match, and your match is going to be bigger than you. So we're so constantly hearing about officers doing wrong that every time we see an officer video surface, we're like, oh, look at that. See, they're both wrong. Now, I see what the officer was trying to do. He did it too forceful. That's where he was wrong. But I also saw the girl. You have to think about it. Oh, the officer's not just going to walk up in a room and do all that. It takes time to build and build and build. When you leave a pot on a stove full of water, when you turn on a heat, it takes a while to boil, doesn't it? That's how the situation was. All we saw was the aftermath. So we saw about 30% of the story. See, you have to respect people. It's how the world works. I'm not saying the world is fucking rainbows and sprinkles and shit, but you have to respect in order to get it. Now, hopefully this young lady learned her lesson, because despite of all how the media has spun it around, and we having all these comments about, you know, look what they're doing to our children and stuff like that. Now, respect starts at home. When we were little, we learned right and wrong. So she obviously knew what she was doing. The aftermath was a bit excessive, but it was a lesson learned. So now she's going to learn, you know, maybe I should just leave class next time. All that for what? Now you're hurt. And you have an officer that is being determined to lose his job now. But as the saying goes, two wrongs don't make a right. So we have the side A, side B, and the truth. We saw side A. The teacher just stood there. The students they didn't move out the way. It didn't seem like they reacted when the officer did this, in my opinion. If there's something else that you've seen that I probably overlooked, feel free to comment. Feel free to like if you agree with what I'm saying. If you don't, feel free to comment as well. This is what I thought of it. This is Lily, and I'm out.
Nah, 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 come on.